Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. I'm trying to bring you the updated news and analysis, philosophy, science, religion, history of the incredible UFO phenomenon, the UAP phenomenon, or the government PSYOP phenomenon, depend on what your particular ideas are. I am trying to remain objective, open-minded, real, straightforward. I have to have really good evidence. Sincerely, I do have a wicked sarcastic streak. I'm going to try very hard tonight not to let that overwhelm me. I'm just saying up front. I have had a couple of people tell me that I should look into the Ledesco brothers, and I have contacted them, and I am going to have them on my show. Yes, I am very excited about that. I have had other people in my comments indicate that I need to look at a group called Farsight. Tonight, I will look at them. Now, I have watched a couple of their videos. I do know there are people who swear by these people. I'm going to try to remain neutral tonight because, quite frankly, this is truly bewildering to me. I am attempting, I don't know what to think. I'm attempting sincerely to understand. This gets wild. I'm not going to hide that from you. This gets bizarre. So, and there are some red flags. I wish to offend no one. If you are a follower of Farsight and you love their work and you believe it's absolutely true and all, wonderful. I'm not going to disparage you. If you think it's all a complete joke and not worth my time, wonderful. I'm not going to disparage you. One of my philosophies, because I've studied Bayesian probability a little bit, I'm no expert at it, but I kind of got the gist and philosophy of it. We need to look at all sides. It's that simple. And that includes the hardcore scientific sides, even if you are anti-science. It also includes the really way out there, so bizarre, there's no way that can be true points of view as well. Not necessarily to become convinced or to believe or to disbelieve or refute, but only in assessing the whole area, the whole side, all points of view, can we get a more accurate probability of what might be right or more correct and what might be wrong and not worth ever dealing with again. It is a sifting process. That's just how it is. We are not going to get rid of the sifting process by any means. Now, this is my introduction. It's long enough. I know people hate it when I drone on and on. And we are talking about the drones. Oh my God. When will this ever end? Okay, now let me also potentially bring in a clarification. I was too subtle when I reviewed Cliff High's so-called, quote, prophecies of the melee and the battle between the UFOs and the UFOs and the UFOs and the jet fighters in my biggest videos I've ever had on my channel. One of them was 414,000 views. Another one was 388,000 or so, 338. Anyway, a lot of people misunderstood by the title that I was saying these prophecies, these predictions based on his computer program were true and they were going to happen. I did no such thing. People won't watch my video all the way through to see my stance. I was using his words in order to say, I'm very skeptical of this. I still am. I have not written him off because his prediction will last from January, February, and March of 2025. So, what do we do with this? We keep an open mind. We say, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on the sky, which I am anyway, because I am a UFO researcher now, right? And I'm going to keep on studying the various scientific, philosophical, religious, historical perspectives of this incredibly wild, bizarre phenomenon. Absolutely. I'm going to keep my eye open, and I'm going to see if a melee between UFOs and UFOs in the sky that we will all see, or between UFOs and our jet fighters in the sky, which we will all see, and presumably it will be actually videoed, and it's not going to be 200 miles away and just little pinpoints of light. We will see the craft fighting. If that begins to occur in January, February, March, I will reassess my skepticism. Of course, because in a Bayesian probabilistic situation, that is exactly what we do. We do not come to hard, fast conclusions. We say, okay, well, the probability of that is pretty slight. But if it does begin to occur, and it occurs the way it was described based on his predictions, then we upgrade the probability by saying, okay, what else has he got? This is what Farsight has done. Farsight has given us a very specific prediction. I'm going to share that prediction with you tonight, and I'm going to express my particular reservation of that prediction, not as a way of disparaging any of the believers or any of the skeptics. No, I haven't flipped my lid. No, I'm not worshiping Satan, for crying out loud. No, I'm not asking God to come and save the world, for crying out loud. I'm exploring. That's what I am. I am exploring. Farsight is a very interesting philosophy in that they claim through the ability of remote viewing, they claim they are in intellectual contact and discussion with the aliens. There are two groups of aliens, the good aliens and the bad aliens. Farsight claims they are in communication with the good aliens. Okay, I've got that groundwork laid down. They have been holding what Courtney at Farsight calls board meetings with the ETs once a month, every month. And they've had these meetings in September, October, November. They just finished their December meeting with the extraterrestrials, the good ones. And he is describing this. Now, he claims on November 13th, the ET said, we are now going to begin showing ourselves in earnest. We are going to increase the number of sightings, and it will be unmistakable. And then on the 15th, the sightings began, and they have been going strong easily for the last month, as we are all well aware of at this point. There's no question there are at least drones. In the process of this last month of exploring the various government responses, the military experts' responses, the skeptics' responses, the believers' responses, all of the analysis of the scientists who are looking up at the skies trying to figure out how come these drone sightings are expanding around the world and what can we do about these, etc. A distinction has began to occur, and I am in somewhat empathy with this distinction. Not everything is a drone. There genuinely are orbs being seen. Now, we know there genuinely are planes being seen because so many of these drones are penetrating private airspace, not only of civilians, although they claim we don't own our airspace very high, but over military installations, medical installations, etc., which is illegal. Do not shoot them. Don't be stupid, please. That's a federal offense, properly so. We've heard various conspiracy theories. This Farsight theory is that the aliens are guiding Farsight into helping them understand what's going to happen. The distinction now that has began to occur, and in some respects it's crystallizing. I've been watching Julian Dory's materials on YouTube, a very good YouTuber. I have been watching Jesse Michaels, a very good YouTuber. I have been watching Richard Dolan. He is a bit more reserved, a bit more conservative, a bit more interested in the historical context, but a very good YouTuber. I have been watching interviews of Danny Sheehan, another complete genius. He is a public lawyer for the public in America. Worked with John Mack, helped him out, etc. The orbs are the ETs. The drones are probably man-made, probably U.S. military. They are putting up the drones to confuse people in saying that there are no ETs, they're just drones. And when you turn your cameras up there and take pictures and videos, the majority of that is going to be drones, and therefore they say, see, there's the proof. You've been misled. It's just drones. There's no national security issue. Here is how the government has put this. Now, I'm making a very long introduction on purpose. I said I was done, but I'm not. As a background to understand a theory that the UFOs are genuinely the ones beginning to disclose themselves because the governments are not going to do so. But it's very important to do so, because with our apparent inability to learn how to live peacefully together, we might be heading down the path of an ugly World War III that might turn into a nuclear war, which has the potential now, with the power of the ridiculous bombs we've built, to literally destroy our Earth. And this Earth happens to be the home of the ETs also, and they are indicating that we have no right to destroy a planet that has life-giving capabilities, and they will prevent this utter idiotic disaster of our making. Whew. Again, just one point of view. I'm not saying this is my view. Please. So many people misunderstand stuff. They think if a YouTuber says something, that's what they believe. I am presenting to you information that I have been able to glean and gather. I am also doing the same thing with this site called Farsight. Here is their prediction that I will keep my eye on. Notice I'm not just instantly dismissing them as a great big bunch of quack jobs. That's not the scientific spirit. I'm not going to do it. Notice I am not just simply embracing them, accepting everything they say. Oh my gosh, you're saying just what I believe in, and therefore it must be true. I accept everything you say either. That type of a myopic total acceptance, I am not doing that either. I am going to keep my eyes on it because, as Cliff High has done, so Farsight has done. We now have a specific prediction which Farsight says they learned in a remote viewing session today, December 20th, with the ETs. They learned from the ETs themselves what the ETs are going to begin doing, and this is what I want to share with you. Let's take a look at what might be happening. Notice I am not saying it will. I am not saying I disbelieve this. I am not saying I believe this. By now, I'm 15 minutes in explaining the very necessary background, and people who want the answers in the first 2 seconds have already stopped watching, and so they will entirely misunderstand everything. I feel sorry for people who don't have the intellectual capacity and tenacity to focus for just 15 minutes in order to learn something useful. Don't be those kind of people. Let's take a look.
Now, cutting to the chase. The extraterrestrials at our Farsight board meeting in December explained what they are going to do next, and it involves sightings with larger ships. Not the largest, but still larger than the current collection, so that there can be no ambiguity regarding who is doing this.
Now, isn't this interesting? There's the prediction. Isn't this a remarkable idea, though? Apparently, the UFOs failed to put on much of a convincing show that they're really here and they're real, and they want us to see them because the drones have drowned out the orbs. Everyone's talking about drones instead of aliens or ETs or UFOs or UAPs, although there is some discussion along these lines. That's true. Even I have said so. So this prediction says, well, now the ETs have decided we're going to send bigger ships. Now, I have heard the theory that some of the orbs can shapeshift into drones. I'm going to just level with you. This is a little bit difficult for me. It doesn't have anything to do with whether it really does occur or not. I'm well aware of that. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm saying from my point of view, this appears to it gives me the impression that it is too convenient. Now, it may very well turn out to be the fact that is, in fact, what they are doing, in which case, when I see some better evidence, I will gladly flow with it, bring in more adjustment. For the meantime, I remain with my eyes open, but I don't feel like I am forced to come to a solid conclusion yet. I'm still researching. See how that works? So this claim that, well, apparently, my impression, I'll be happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, but the first wave wasn't that impressive from the aliens. It's not overwhelmingly obvious that they're here. So we got to have a second wave, and we're going to bring in bigger ships now. Now we're going to show you. This is my impression of what he said. Let's keep going for just another moment.
Now, the bad ETs do not want any of this to happen, and they are working with their human collaborators in the U.S. government to continue to muddy the waters in all sorts of ways. The good ETs will adapt to each new thing that the bad ETs do with their human collaborators, and on it will go, one wave after another, throughout the summer of 2025.
There. That was the point. Now, from this particular point of view of Farsight, the bad ETs are the ones who have made the deal with the American government, do not disclose us. And the good ETs say, yes, we want to be known, but the good ETs are absolutely adamant about giving us our free agency. They will not interfere with our free agency no matter what. So this is the setup from Farsight. These gentlemen and ladies claim they are in contact with the aliens through remote viewing, and 2025 promises to be a hell of a year. Now, and quite frankly, Ross Colthart thinks that also. He has said so. And we have Cliff High's ideas, January, February, and March, with this melee, etc. So, from several different points of view now, it does appear like things are heating up. Things are going to get, exciting. So my approach to this is I'm going to keep my eyes open. I will share information with you, my audience, as I discover it. I am open to the idea of taking a look. I'm not interested in coming to any hard and fast conclusions. Well, are you going to be a good guy and believe with us? Or are you going to be a damn moron and believe with them? Or disbelieve with them? Or disbelieve with us, etc.? I'm not taking sides. I'm exploring. And I know there always seems to be a segment of the population that absolutely hates that tough shit. I take Gary Nolan's approach seriously, sincerely. There is not a necessity to come to a hard, fast conclusion at this time. It's a great idea to watch and learn. And that's my philosophy. So thanks for watching my Backyard Professor Respawns videos. I will definitely keep in touch with you. I will try to keep the information rolling. I appreciate the enjoyment that you're having with my 1-minute news clips that I make on my shorts during the day when I get a moment at lunch or on my break or whatever. I can share some ideas that way with the latest news item of something coming up. They're a lot of fun to do as well. I most especially love making these videos. I love interacting and learning from you guys, as well as other YouTubers, as well as articles and books, movies, etc. So a lot more information is coming out. Get ready, pull your pants up, get prepared. 2025 could be a most remarkable, interesting year. It's going to be fun to be a YouTuber in the next 6 months. And I will see you soon.